I would like to see us elect teachers to the legislature and have that balance of expertise. We we don't. I don't think there's one particular type of person who is qualified for work in government, and everyone else needs to aspire to those particular qualifications, or they can't participate in elected office. I really think we need teachers, and we need artists, and we need business people, and we need social workers and medical professionals, and we just need this breadth of experiences that can bring all of this expertise to the table, because we make better decisions when there is more when people bring these perspectives in, because it's very easy to be blind to a perspective that we don't have, because we just don't know it exists. And that's why we need lots of voices at the table. And so, sometimes I was asked recently, well, what work have you been doing that qualifies you to become a legislator? But there isn't one. There isn't one kind of work. If you are a member of our community, you are qualified to participate in the legislature, and we need those voices. And we also need to be listening to constituents too. We need to be listening to parents of all kinds of parents, the essential worker parents, lower income parents, the those who have maybe a little more clout because they are able to give more time and maybe monetary donations to schools. We don't just want to listen to the loudest voices. We need to listen to all of the voices that are stakeholders in this system.
I totally I totally agree with that. For me personally, I think it has to be like a change of mindset, because when I made the decision to run, at first I thought, who am I? I'm just a teacher. That's totally what I thought. I'm just a teacher. What do I have to offer? But the more I've become aware of this political process and in running and learn, it's really what this is it's education. You're educating yourself about your community. You're educating yourself about the political process. And I'm talking about myself personally. I'm educating myself, and there's no way I'm going to know everything ever. There's no one person who's in the legislature who's going to know everything. I think we need to apply the skills that we learn in an elementary school: how to share, how to get along, how to listen to each other. We have our behavior management, our leadership program at our school has taught me more. I've learned more about how to be a good human being in the last few years teaching with our leadership program than I ever had before. So I think there is room for citizens to take the initiative to become politically active, and learn, and understanding that it is also a learning curve for everyone who is going to take charge or take a seat in the Capitol.
Amen.
So quick, going along with that's been touched on by everyone, is our legislature is made up of a lot of businessmen, lawyers, and real estate gurus, and that creates a lot of blind spots. So you don't want somebody who doesn't understand the problem that everyday citizens are going through. If they don't understand the problem, they can't bring good solutions to that problem, which brings about why we need diversity in the legislature so that we can come to good solutions. If you don't understand the problem, you're not going to have a good policy. So, and having more people, Kate, with you running, it's not just your voice, but it's the voice of all of the parents that you interact with in the classroom. It's the voice of your neighbors. It's many, many different voices that are coming to the table as a result of running for office. So next question, we still have a little bit of time. So why does society look to education to solve all of these problems with childcare, feeding students, and what are some different solutions? And Catherine, let's hear from you.
Okay, well, the schools really do a miraculous job with what they are asked to do and the resources that we give them. So I think in part it's because they're so successful that we ask them to do more and more and more. And Utah does have a really high rate of volunteerism, particularly at schools. You'll see a lot of parents volunteering at schools, and that helps ease the workload as well. But it's not really enough. I think some potential solutions are recognizing that so many parts of our society are interconnected. And so when we think about success in schools, we do have to think about poverty and stable housing and employment development opportunities for parents. All of these and so many more things all work together to provide stability for children so that they can succeed in schools and be successful academically, mentally, physically, and in all of those ways. And I think sometimes we in government, we sort of compartmentalize things, and we say, okay, well, this line item budget item is, we're dedicating this money to education, and then we've dedicated all of this other money to other things, and we don't really have a lot of money left for encouraging affordable housing, or we don't have, we can't fund this program for, whatever, domestic violence prevention or something like that. But recognizing that all of these things are interconnected, and how can we help provide more stability and safety for families, and so that we don't have children who are at risk, and then schools that are required in order to continue to provide to keep other students safe as well. So we require so much of schools in that way. We can't look at these things just individually. They're all connected.
If I could add something to that, I just think COVID-19 has really laid bare the fact that whole interconnected stuff. I really like how you put that. And the legislature right now is kind of inching towards maybe funding as much as they should, but this has kind of laid bare how that relates to child nutrition, and that relates to the essential workers who, like we say, are working 3 shifts, 3 jobs a day, and what happens to that when kids are at school or not at school. And I just think we've been kind of caught lagging in our educational spending, and this has just really shined a bright spotlight on why we need educational spending. And I think if we'd had a better grip on this before, we wouldn't have so much of a problem.
Very true. All right, we have time for just one last thing for Catherine to cover. So this year is the first year that Utah School Board of Education will be partisan. Should the race for these positions on school boards be partisan or nonpartisan? Catherine, let's hear from you.
No, it should not. These should not be partisan races. So I think if we think about what do we ask the school board to do, and then we think about, well, is there any part of that job description which requires a partisan affiliation? And I think the answer is no. There is no part of making decisions for the state schools that requires commitment to a particular political party. And also the fact that this has become a partisan race has shut out a lot of voters. I know that in our county, there were some races, in Utah County that is, there were some races for state school board that were decided only in the primary, because there were only candidates from one party who were participating, who had filed to run for that office. And so in the general election, those people will win by acclamation because there is no opponent for the general population to vote on. And that's really, it's discouraging that many people who are unaffiliated or who are affiliated with another party did not have an opportunity to have a voice in that election.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're coming to an end here. So thank you for everyone, all of our guests who've participated tonight. We appreciate everyone coming. So to close, we'd like to share with you the United Utah Party platform concerning education in the state of Utah. And Kate Walters will share that with us.
Yeah, let me just share my screen. If you go to unitedutah.org and you look up platform here, there's one section about what the platform is for education. And it says, this is what the United Utah Party believes. Education. Support increased funding for public education as a vehicle for sustained economic growth and engage citizenry and to equip students for a rapidly changing world. Promote policies that balance the empowerment of teachers with accountability to ensure that funds are used effectively.
Thank you so much, Kate, and thank you for all of you for coming. This recording will be available at a future time for you to watch, and thanks again, everyone.